it's for a while now that we have been talking about this Staff Selection Commission examination, and all the examinations which are conducted by SSC is most important one, because not because it gives you the maximum number of vacancies, because here you refers to the student, the best decisions within the ambit of SSC. And with me, one is Tarun Malik. I assume that all of you know that Tarun is the BA anchor. And another person here with me, his name is Ankur Mittal. I don't know if you're aware of him, but this person also participated in this examination in 2012, and it also. So Tarun, and most probably very soon we shall be joined by Upeji also. So 4 people who would be here. You know, this is your Ankur Mittal. So of 173 among to 12 lakh people who had applied for this. Look at issues one by one. Of course, this is aware of basically a recruitment body just like UPSC, and it's examinations almost throughout the year. But till 2008, SSC would conduct a number of examinations for different positions. After 2008, they in fact combined many of these examinations, not all the examinations, but many of these examinations. And now there are 2 examinations which they conduct which cater to the needs of almost 80% of the applicants. One is CGL and the other one which is conducted at class 12 level. Am I audible? Yogesh, am I audible? Participant audible now? He confirms that I'm audible. Yes, after 2008, and in fact they combined the examinations, and now the examinations and one which is conducted at higher secondary level. So moving to the next slide, and there is who wants me to stay at this slide for some more time. So all of us were aware of Union Public Service Commission, another body just like SSC, but the difference between UPSC and SSC, needless to say, is as much as between mummy and pummy. All right. So when it comes to government job, so you can just have a look of all these 3 or other categories in which we have put them in. SC, LDC, banking, UPSC, state government job. Banking, that's not strictly government job, but all right, let it be here. That way we should be putting LI also here. Teaching, yes. Oh, LI here in other bodies. All right. So you are amazed to know that in between 10 to 20 lakh people they apply for CGL examinations conducted by SSC, or at least how it has been in the last 3 years. People, jobs which people get, jobs, auditors, assistants, and then you become assistants in Central Secretariat and ministry and various other ministries, and then your field jobs also. You can become an income tax officer. You guys will hear me? Hear me? Is that any? John, yeah, you can hear me. So Yogeshwar, quite possible that there is some problem from your side. So back to the point. So the positions, this PP sent to all of you. So these are the positions SSC CG. Any questions? Sachin also said that there is no audio. So, but then for many others who can hear me, so it appears that there is some problem from your side only. So to correct it, and it's fine. Nitin, can you hear me? Nitin? Nitin, can there's some problem from Krishna's side. All right, so I'll continue with this. So, which are able to students through SSC Exam. There is one thing which I would want all of you to be clear about, and that is something about which we have written, which we have released. I assume that all of us have got the brochure, this SSC brochure, which is in English, and maybe within 10 days from now, you should be able to see the medium SSC CGL brochure too. Someone qualifies in CGL and gets to income tax at the age of 2021. Ankur, that people become eligible for this, for examination if they're graduate, right?
Yes, sir. For
important things about this, technical difficulty because of which the voice gets disconnected. So, gets into income tax through SSC CGL at the age of 21, and does there is someone who will get into income tax through UPSC's Indian Revenue Services. The person who joined at the age of 21 through SSC might be at par with the person who would join through IRS at the age of 29-30. Am I right, Ankur?
yes, sir.
So there is one thing, if there are super champions who become graduate even before 21, so age-wise you become eligible at the age of 18 only, Ankur?
Yes, sir. 18 to 27.
So range of age is 18 to 27. Since the range is 18 to 27, so in fact we should be encouraging all the students to become graduates as soon as possible so that they can afford SSC. Age of, practically the time you graduate, but you graduate, in most cases, maybe in the 90% of the cases, you would be at least 21 years of age, and in fact, in many cases, 22 years of age. But the moment you graduate and on the first given opportunity you appear for SSC CGL, and you get also in your first attempt, there's a good chance there would be at par or maybe above those people, would be many different government jobs to UPSC. There is one assumption that you must have done well. Move to the next. Look, now for this exam, UP recruits the most influential and supposedly powerful position, but when it comes to numbers, UPSC is absolutely nothing in comparison with SSC. UPSC offers less than 10,000 seats. Mostly people relate UPSC various CDS and civil service examinations, but even beyond these three examinations, there are many other examinations which are conducted by UPSC. All those examinations put together, the number would be definitely below 10,000. SSC, in regards to last year, to 1 lakh people were recruited through different SSC examinations. 1 lakh, you heard right. Can be 1:10. All right. Let champion who become graduate at the age of 18 and into some to SSC CGL. Now, does not allow you to appear for civil service examination at the age of 21. I look at it that if students are guided properly and someone actually gets into this at the age of 18, would definitely be those people who will get into these government services at the age of 25 to 26. That also is a possibility. Mind that at age, those people who join, who get into CGL through SSC, or who get into government jobs through SSC CGL, there is close to 36,000 rupees per month. Am I right, Uncle?
Yes, sir.
What was your salary, Uncle?
So it's about 40,000 in hand per month.
So, I need to reintroduce Ankur. Ankur is someone who has already cleared this examination, and at this stage, he works for our organization from Thailand. So, the starting salary is going to be 40,000 rupees, and of course, we know that from 2016, 7 report granted. Once that implementation takes place, then the salary will suddenly go above 50,000 rupees. Am I right, Ankur?
Yes, sir. Definitely.
So, by clearing this examination, this is for sure that your starting salary would be in excess of 50,000 rupees. And keep one more thing in mind: a government job which you get through SSC CGL will make you work only 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Not pressure. It's 2 to 5 jobs. So 2 to 5 jobs. So basically 7 hours a day, theory a day, and 5 days. But practically, if I look at it and looking at many Ankurs, and in fact, all of you know Rajat Sen, who used to get that. So he also got into that. Just quoting that requires 2 hours a day. So you're getting salary of 50,000 rupees. One thing will work 2 hours a day and just 5 days a day. People, including Rajat, who books to the office and preparing for UPSC civil service examination. Any questions? Now, looking numbers, received 8,125 applications for examinations, and of close to 1/7 were for only. And in the 5 years, many people have become aware of this SSC phenomenon because of the numbers have come almost 3 times. So in 2008, when 27 lakh people had applied for the position, the number became close to 6 lakhs, which is 3 lakhs. So when I speak with people like Ajit and Ajit, they tell me that there is hardly any awareness about SSC examination down even in West. In fact, just 2 or 3 days back, I was speaking with someone who is from Aurangabad, Maharashtra. So he told me that there has been a surge in number of people who are for banking examinations, but people are hardly even aware of SSC examinations. So what are numbers going to see here? I wouldn't have a good part of it. Now this part is a subjective thing, so quite possible that even 70 to 80% of these 86 lakh people predominantly from North India. which is about which there is any awareness either in southern India or western India. So those are from these places. And in fact, I have filed an RTI also, and I expect SSC to give the numbers also to me. There are all the people, all the 12 lakh people who appeared for SSC CGL Tier 1 last year, appeared from which center. That should give us a very clear idea, but more or less it seems to be a North India phenomenon. Yes, please don't forget one thing. If you want to an engineering college, thinking about GRE and CAT, think about 3 times. People from top 20 engineering colleges also get for SSC CGL, and not only they apply, not they get to join it also. And here you have the examples, Rajat Sen, who did his BTech from Delhi College of Engineering. He at Hiroshi has also incidentally worked with us. So he also did his BTech from DCE, and he went to join income tax or a sales tax, but not exactly. And another example, this guy Ankur Mittal, who is from SBTI, I'm sure that at least Neeraj ji is aware of this institute, the Arcoder.
Yes, sir. Arcoder Technological Institute.
Technological Institute. So Ankur Mittal is from SBTI, and this is also one of engineering colleges.
Last student of.
Oh, Ankur is saying hi to you because he has studied from you.
Yes, sir. 9
Student of yours in 2009.
2009 to 2012.
So many people, so in a nutshell, there are many people from engineering, good engineering colleges also who went into CGL through SSC. So if you go to do talk about this. Now, of course, we'll have to think about certain questions on ground. If it is going to canalize on at a GRE market, if you sell GRE also. So these are the things which I'll have to think about, right? But you must talk about this. You must talk about this. And one other thing, those people who have already tried CAT. CAT is conducted in the month of November. Out, and there would be many people, and in fact, most of the people do not clear CAT. The series of SSC CGL can be sold to these people also, and I'm sure that those people who do not get into any of the top 25 maths, if they go SSC CGL, I would better option.
And if people stay here, then they can also join because of great option program for their year.
Here, what Ankur said just now. Ankur,
we can see SSC CGL as a great option because people who have not get through this year from a CAT exam, they can choose an option as SSC CGL.
This part. And part is that we're preparing students for this examination, which you teach. One of this, general intelligence and reasoning, which any of you do. Awareness you do, right? For examinations like BBA and maybe, why BBA? You do general awareness for and end of questions which appear in SSC CGL, and in fact, GA appears only in Tier 1 examination. And here, level of the question is definitely below the level in the question. So, awareness is something which are already dealing with. General intelligence and reasoning also is something which we are dealing with. I do not think that I need to even speak about quantitative aptitude and English comprehension. So you're already doing all this, and what do into they're doing quantitative ability and English, and paper 3 statistics. So theoretically it is there, but there are not many people who actually appear for this paper also. So few specific jobs for which people need to appear for this paper 3. So paper not something which actually have to bother about, because I do not think that even 1% of the students want to appear for this paper 3. Am I right, coach?
Yes, sir.
So in a nutshell, only you do quantitative ability and English. In fact, more good course, for all good course, you have to appear for the interview. And on 600 marks, which for the written examination tier 1 as tier 2, the advantage in my opinion is that all the questions are get through objective type questions. In fact, to comment on UPSC's main examination also, so people get at the examination that is always subjective. There is possibility that if I write on, quite possible that Neeraj ji has written a brief article on good governance, 20 marks. So hardly 12, but I might give him 20 on 20. It comes to any descriptive examination, that subjectivity factor is definitely there. And in fact, this is one of the reasons for UPSC unpredictable public service commission. Because a lot of subjectivity because of this type nature of the question. But the retort is of 600 marks, and you're going 600 marks, all these 600 marks they belong to, or they're completely based on objective type question. Any question? Overall scheme of things, the scheme for good question, the entire scheme is of 700 marks, of which ability is 250 marks, verbability is of 250 marks, so 500 out of 700 is close to 21%. It's straight away based on quantitative aptitude and English, which you at least are supposed to do day and night. And if I read anything here in the chat box, so and I'm not a very good speaker for this medium at least, if there is really no participation from your side, so be by putting your hands like yes, no, yes, I can hear. And in fact, the one who has been battling after me has been writing for the last 10 minutes that he cannot do anything, but I assume since the rest of you can hear, so there's some problem from his family. Nitin, can you? All right, got reply. Oh, one is also here. Great. Only because there is one who is speaking on behalf of Aju, I cannot assume that Aju is on. In person? Okay. Let's come to eligibility for this. Kindly something in mind. Bill for tier 1 on January of the in which the examination is getting conducted, the graduate or when it comes to the success examination, you're eligible even in the final year, but not here. You should fact the one factor is thing which makes the task difficult for you. I'll tell you why. You just and tell, especially final year students, that come the examination. These are not eligible. But if you're a student, I should be able to and in fact, people, one more thing. Since 27, in 4 category people. So category may, when it comes to you are done by 27. So if you SSC, even in the worst case, at the age 27 and more ambitious, so you have at least 3 years to do. You civil services. But in which all the students to SSC CGL comment they're eligible for. And of the criteria which they have, one is age factor and the other factor is the graduation thing. Limiting factor would always be graduation. We can hardly see anyone becoming a graduate at the age of 18. So the very next year you have to appear for, or you should appear for SSC examination. You should be encouraging all the current students of yours also to SSC CGL. So that's another thing. You can sell the test series of SSC to existing students also, maybe at some discount. This is by people like Deepanjan, Ajit, and Himanshu, right? But think about this also. There's absolutely no harm in asking all the students who are studying with you for MBA to SSC CGL, and moreover, many people they might react like this. Come on, I'm preparing for SSC CGL. One of these people is that you appear for the examination, right? You qualify for first, and it's like it, you do not join. But this appearing for the examination, in my opinion, should be exercised. I'm not getting it. Appeal that is sleeping.
How many times
as possible. The question from Nitin Sudarshan, cap on the number of attempts for which a person can appear for SSC CGL. There is no such cap.
Only
the limit. So anyone who is already a graduate by the time this person turns 18, right? So the quantitative aptitude question, that times this person can appear. In 1920, this person can appear 9 times. Can appear 9 times. Yes. One thing, Nitin Sudarshan, not only in case of SSC, for any government-related thing, people reservation only if they're in non-creamy layer. So this is not OBC which gets the reservation. This is NC-OBC, non-OBC, be it SSC, UP, any other C. From CL Rookie who is writing already, and thank you sir, yeah, it's not over. This is a different thing, right? CL Rookie is not over. You want me to drop it now? All right, let's move next slide. Now here, certain posts for which some qualified, like for post of compiler, grant economics, similar statistic investigator, as see on the slide, you should have a bachelor's degree with statistics or mathematics / economics / commerce, right? In the what is CBN? You can go to
Center Bureau of Narcotics.
Thanks to that's your CBN is Central Bureau of Narcotics. And people who work in CBN, they make loads of money. Open sugar, there are some bureaus also who are interested in getting into this, some drug addicts, right? Ask them also to get into this. So they see any such thing, right? Can use a bit of it themselves.
No, only of the cost. That's good.
Thank you. So, Neeraj, why this question mark from you? I couldn't understand this. So, you get something, but I'm not sure about that. And before, someone had asked about relaxation for girls. So unfortunately, no relaxation for girls. But why was this question pertaining to girls only? या दूसरे ग्रुप के लिए भी पूछो. So application for girls. Not there in UPSC civil services also. All right. So let's go. 2013. You can see on the screen, right? And in unreserved category, the cutoff was 6. But if the cutoff a year before that, it was only 82. So 8 within a year. But there was any significance in the difficulty level of the papers. So goes up. It happens because of various reasons. Quite possible that the difficulty level of paper is quite low. And marks, people perform better. So that's the second thing. So it has become so very popular, so very fast, that now taking it very seriously, and more number of students that effort, because it's the cutoffs are going up. And the number of candidates ultimately appeared for the examination. Oh, that close to 12 lakh people that applied for the examination. Yeah, close to 12 lakh people, they appeared for the examination. Means number of people who would definitely be close to 1.5 million. So, tax assistant, there is hardly any difference because practical is no difference between 96 and 92.50. So, of course, people would know the difference who get stuck in between. So, would you kindly elaborate on this, that what exactly do we mean by tax assistant and how is it different from all others?
So, assistant is basically a group C post, and interview posts are basically group B posts. So, tax assistant has 2 categories like excise inspector and tax inspectors. They can be shaded lower grade. Tax assistants are also people from excise and as well as from the tax. Then inspector.
And the last thing we should have been able to guess, because if the cutoffs are lower, so of course it would be less important, isn't that? And one more factor, in fact, I order as 3 of us, Upendra ji, Ankur and I, we take this session. So this young lady who wanted to be here. So why do you want to hear this? So do you any session on webinar because of which you want to see this process? She said no, I would be applying for this examination myself this year. But then in fact, I was surprised at why would you be applying for this? She done her BA LLB from NLU, right? And one of the top NLUs, she's from NLU Jodhpur. So if graduate from NLU Jodhpur is to appear for CPL Tier 1 now, right? That also speaks volumes about the popularity of the examination, not only popularity, the money factor also. And in fact, I would want her to be online and would ask her that why exactly does she want to appear for this examination. Please be here. So she works for our team LSP, and many of you know my Amsha. What prompted you to take this decision to appear for the examination?
So, as we have already been saying in the session, the exam has been gaining popularity, and a lot of my peers who are preparing for UPSC who could not attempt, who clear the prelims maybe in the first or second attempt. So, a lot of people are diverting towards SSC as well because this exam, the factor also, and the scope it's giving. So, it's a good opportunity for me. So, at least to give it an attempt, and once I clear it, then I might whether I want to join or not, but giving a try for sure.
Good, great. It in fact brings another thing to my attention. When it is UPSC civil services, you get the preliminary examination only then you do extremely well in the paper of your preliminary examination, which is CSAT. So gradients of CSAT are there. All that are definitely there in CGL Tier 1 examination. In fact, even in Tier 2 examination, even those people are desirous of appearing for UPSC civil service. Definitely. So these people should also certainly give it a try.
And nothing extra that you need to put in effort. Like, and the thing about this paper is it's an objective paper. Even the second exam, the one and the Tier 2 paper, both of them are objective type paper. Exams is more transparent and you not have that subjectivity and you not is a little different than which is there in UPSC. So that it has like an easier approach when compared to UPSC.
When I look at the CSAT part of the preliminary examination and compare that with SSC, the examinations are very different, but one part would be more or less the same. And from Neeraj ji, what is the difference between CBEC and CBDT mentioned in SSC from assistant? I would want Ankur to answer that.
So CBEC stands for Central Board of
Director.
Excise, and CBDT is Central Board of Direct Taxes. CBEC mainly recruits for excise tax, that's duty and excise duty, like, and CBDT recruits for income tax inspector, income tax tax system.
You should be more worried about CBDT, the income tax people, right? They work for CBDT. So you don't need to be wary of CBEC people. So, question here from any one of you? No question. So, that CCL examination 2013 cut-off and all that. So, investigator. So, though I feel that these cut-offs are same, right? So, but special about the post of status investigator? Yes. Was that, Ankur?
Sir, they come under the group of grade pay and pay band is different from those innermost categories.
Oh, so this is important.
But the people who have did their graduation in statistics or economics, they can go through this course and they hold a very good reputation among people who join.
Let's move to the next. Increase of that is something which we've already talked about, and anyway, since this PT would be downloaded. That you, in fact, is there one of the slides, so don't even need it, sir. So that is coming. So when it marks of the selected candidate, right, come to that what was overall cutoff last year, even last year, and that is there in our brochure also. But start with interview experience, and in fact, intentionally we have put some questions so that when people come to you and ask someone at the counter that what sort of questions do they ask in the interview. So just for them, in fact, they go through that and they should keep this side also in mind. In fact, these are questions which were put to other than Ankur, who is one of the co-hosts. You want your student Ankur to answer this question. Neeraj, this question: what is the difference between preventive officer and some officer?
Preventive officers are mainly posted in coast area, in Kolkata, in Mumbai, in Chennai, and the customs officers different tasks. The differences between their duty.
All right, so catch up Neeraj ji offline also to elaborate more on this. Which people face. Schedule for CGL 2014. The notification is already out. It came out on January 18, and process on Valentine's Day. So first, you need to make all the people aware that opportunity will get shut on Valentine's State. So not many people from your city, for this examination, they would not be joining you. So, for you to make more and more people aware of this examination, for which the closing date is Valentine's Day, February 14, 2014. Question from MK Himaya is mentioned here. Only one examination, of course, to score 96 out of 700 and still get into that. If you look at the overall scheme of examination, the overall examination is of 700 marks. And it's not that difficult that by scoring just 96, you would be in the 700 that you will get selected finally. So, Ankur, you want? Yes?
Yes, this is very related to the talks of if it belongs to Tier 1 exam. It's for only 2013 we have given, and the comparison section we have given for 2012 and 2013.
In 2000, for Tier 1 was 2, which became 96. And the way it's going up, I somehow guess that it would be close to 110, 112, 114. In fact, people should put some good up to make it 110, 114. Prepare very well so that mark performance increases. And keep in mind that at this stage, if someone tells you that I'm not good at PA, I'm not good at reasoning, or and which is why I shouldn't be appearing for this. So clearing the cutoff for Tier 1 is concerned. So I know many people who left one option. Look, there are 4 sections in Tier 1: reasoning, aptitude, English, and GK. So no people who left one of these 4 sections altogether. So they question what marks only. I mean, genuine attempts I'm talking about. Otherwise, there is negative marking, right? No, even now there is no negative marking.
Yes, sir.
There is no marking in the examination.
Yes, sir. In Tier 1 and Tier 2 both.
Oh.
In Tier 1 was 4 negative marking.
But during my time, there was no negative marking.
Yes, sir. There was no negative marking before 2008. But they have introduced 4 negative marking.
So, people who attempt just 3 of the sections, which is question, was 150 marks, and still. Because if you look at it, by attempting questions for 150 marks, you can clearly get 96. In fact, there are 2 or 3 people who have already talked about the overall the entire scheme of the examination. We're coming to that slide. So just have a bit of patience. We shall come to it.
For Tier 2 examination for 2012 was 349 out of 400, out of 600 marks.
That is the slide, right? Yeah.
I think we have not the cutoff of Tier 2, but it can be taken from the website of SSC.
Anyway, you already have the flow with you. So in Tier 2, the cutoff was
349. For degree, 600 marks.
So last 349 out of 600. So when I say 349, this of course included your score of Tier 1 also. And this important factor should not be forgotten at all, that this is one of the unique examinations, right, in which not only like what happens in UPSC civil services preliminary examination, or you qualify. Okay? Whatever you have done in the examination, that is of no use because you do not carry forward your marks. But examination, even after the qualification, right, you carry forward your marks to Tier 2 also. Important. So anyway, 49, and that is on none of the slides. So the PPT which would be uploaded after this session, I'll ask someone to put that slide also. Ankur, you will do that. All right.
Please score.
So the question from Neeraj Ji, that please specify the selection scores out of 700 various posts in the final selection. That is work in progress. So the moment we get that, but you more or less keep in mind that all those people who would score something in the range out of 600, if they score close to 400,
Yes, sir.
they'll definitely be getting the top position.
And for every post, they decide a different cutoff. So the big people here, so we download from SSC and provide it.
Shall do the analysis and let you know that what exactly was the cutoff for different positions. Now, if you look at Ankur Mittle's score, he scored 60 out of 700, right? And he scored just 51 in his interview. I mean, I shouldn't be saying just 51. He scored 51 in the interview. It means 409, tier 1 and tier 2 put together. So if you put tier 1 and tier 2 put together and still manage this 170 rank, so it means that yes, I was right that if you score a range in the vicinity of 400, 410, you're safe to be offered the pencil also.
Yes, sir.
Here there is one more thing which in fact Ankur shared with me just before we sat for this session. That fact, and in fact when he appeared for his tier 1 examination, so this time, so he was he could not do.
Sir, it is correct.
So he also in fact scored in the 3 of the section. So those who are not good at GK and they tell you that I would not be preparing for this examination only because I'm poor at GK, right? You tell them that come on, GK has a very limited role to play. 50 marks out of 700, that is it. No, in interviews I assume that GK will certainly play a role. But if you look at GK at this stage, come on, work on this. In tier 2 also you are going to get 4 marks. Any questions? And only those people who clear tier 1 would be eligible for tier 2. So tier 1 solves 2 purposes. One, 50 for tier 2, and 2, that whatever marks you score, right, those marks get forward. Any other one? So now left hand part will offer. So far, keep one thing in mind, or other it's engraved here in your system that apart from Career Launcher, there is no other institute which offers services for SS examination. So we in this the name of Paramount. So Paramount people, they operate only in Delhi and these days in Jaipur also. Then it comes to so Mahindra people, they are entirely focused on banking. So this is one of the ads for them. So Concept is the only organization which is offering its services at none level. All right. Come to our offer. In fact, we have given the snapshot. This is from Neeraj Prasad, guidance on application form filling. So if you want some guidance on place and post preferences, so in fact, we shall do one thing on filling of the application form. We shall create a PPT of not more than 4 or 5 slides.
Yes.
Right? So someone is already noting all these things down. All right. So we have promised 2 or 3 things. First, that we shall ask someone to prepare a PPT on different course, but more clear about this, that for top question, at least last year people needed to score in vicinity of 400 or 600. And 60 got of 173. So now there's another question from wants to know apartment it is while filling the form. All right. So point taken. Yes, we should have actually included this also here. So two suggestions. I shall prepare this PPT and put it in ACADS for marketing download. This PPT, you can actually use this PPT to your advantage. You might have a seminar in your city. Tell that come, we shall guide you for application form filling of SSC. Right? Since many people would be there, I assume, who guide people for the session filling process. So it's something which should be an fit with people. And finally, they're certainly not eligible for GL.
Degree.
You're asking about the statistical post. So for statistical post, whatever is the eligibility that was put on one of the slides, then in fact you should have a bachelor's degree with statistics as one of your papers. Statistics is not there. Mathematics, economics, or commerce, one of these. So statistics or honors, mathematics, economics, and commerce. Mandatory along with statistics. There is no thing. One mathematics, economics, or commerce. Does it answer? Yeah, so once it's uploaded, so you can or understand this. All the participants, and in fact, if you could just type in your mail ID, it will reach each one of you. Don't even worry. So, Neeraj, should you be taking a session in Kanpur on filing process of SSC CGL for post offences and other things? We hope you have a system in this examination. So there will be wonderful guides for this purpose. What do you think?
Yes, sir. Definitely.
उन्होंने तो अपना पूरा R&D करके ही भरा होगा.
Yes, sir.
So yes, classroom sessions and 300 plus 30 hours. So this is which we have to give, and then there are 11 books and sheets and practice tests. And thing that we are going to offer to the students, which we are going to offer to the students, right? Series, which was benchmarking, which we are going to provide the students with, would be proper benchmarking. So this no one can create overnight. We provide national level test series and to the details of test series, right? So 10 plus books, 100 plus classroom sessions, and other things. At this stage, medium material is different from our English medium material. So already started getting the English medium content from one. But it'll take close to 2.5 to 3 months. And in fact, as we get the translation done, we should start releasing the staggered manner. जितना बनता जाएगा उतना हम रिलीज करते जाएंगे, but that does not mean कि हमारे पास हिंदी माध्यम में कुछ सामग्री नहीं है. हमारे पास हिंदी माध्यम की भी अध्ययन सामग्री है, लेकिन इंग्लिश वाले स्टडी मटेरियल से अलग है. ऑफ कोर्स हिंदी माध्यम वाला अच्छा हो गया, लेकिन शायद उसकी इतनी ज्यादा नहीं है जितने इंग्लिश मीडियम वाले की है. उस पर हम काम करेंगे.
अभी हिंदी मीडियम की जो हमारी
भूपेंद्र जी की आवाज सुन रहे हैं. भूपेंद्र जी इस बारे में कुछ कहना चाहेंगे?
हम जो हिंदी वर्जन की जो एक्सरसाइज है हिंदी में ट्रांसलेट करा के और वो प्रिंट करा के आप सबको जल्दी भेज दें.
गाएं जो हैं वो तो हिंदी और इंग्लिश के अलग हैं आपकी, भूपेंद्र जी,
लेकिन वो भी अपने आप में जो है हिंदी में है वो भी अपने आप में पड़ा.
ये नहीं कहना है कि जो हिंदी में अध्ययन सामग्री है उसमें कोई खराबी है, लेकिन हमें ये कहना है कि जो इंग्लिश मीडियम का मटेरियल है वो डेफिनेटली बेहतर है हिंदी आते हमारे हमारे पहले उससे अच्छा हमारा जो प्रेजेंट मीडिया मटेरियल है वो भी है, वो लेट अस एडमिट अमंग अवरसेल्व्स कि वो अभी और बहुत ज्यादा अच्छा उपज देंगे। जहां तक क्लास एक्सरसाइज की बात है तो उसमें तो ऑलरेडी काम शुरू हो गया है। जो जी अंडरस्टैंड देयर इज ज्वाला इनसाइड की वो हम लोग डेफिनेटली उसको जल्दी कराने की कोशिश करते हैं। एंड सम वर्क इज आई अंडरस्टैंड दैट यू डू नॉट अंडरस्टैंड मच ऑफ हिंदी, सो डोंट यू वरी। So whatever I spoke in the last 3 to 4 minutes, that is not of much use to you. Stands in Hindi. Mathur Naneria, the general question from lots of students: how many students across India and how many got selected from India? Mathur, we have started doing SSC for the first time. That itself answers your question. First time, that means that we are second to any. So at this, we cannot have results because we are doing it for the first time. But then, which we have, right? If you look at PyLab, and in fact, there are many in your team who are taking most of the decisions related to SSC, who have this CGL themselves, and they have got good ranks also. So something which gives you any relief, that is absolutely all right. But otherwise, at this stage, yes, we cannot claim results. And in fact, let's do some wonderful work this year inside the classroom. So when someone asks this question to us, that what are your results? तो पूरी फाइल दे देंगे हम लोग, टेबल पे डाल देंगे.
But there are some students who have joined for MBA program and they got let go CGL exam. They are the students.
So is one of them himself? Ankur, one of them. You are yourself one of them, yeah. Ankur, who at this stage works here at PyLab, right? He was Neeraj sir's student long back. So you not take any coaching for rather than tier 1, tier 2, PGL of SSC. Wait. He just attended Neeraj ji's classes and of course assumed that English classes as well. So for many people find our examinations, so they might in fact you make them appear for SSC tier 1, tier 2. CAT were out on 14th of January and today is 19th of January, so it was 20th of January. So in the last 6 days, there have been many heartbreaks. So these people appear the CGS, and in fact, you can get some very good results. Put to good use next year. So there is to know something related to non-interview jobs. And the salary for non-interview jobs are they mostly desk job? Ankur?
Sir, non-interview jobs are those for which interview is not needed. Marks are counted from 600 marks. The tier 2 marks are only counted for non-interview jobs. And mostly they are desk job, auditor, and tax assistants. Books are not there, but certainly they are better than more of the bank jobs and other jobs.
Then, Muhammad Khan has 500 students can appear CGL. No, cannot appear for CGL. You should be a graduate on 1st January of the year in which the examination will be conducted. So let's say, and towards the completion of the session also, unless until towards the end of it, I'll make it an operation for you people. Not that you have not been asking questions, and the result should be also, but towards the end of it, only driving this. So this to the numbers which you have.
Sir, there is typing test for tax assistant in CBBT and CBEC. For auditor job, there is no typing test. For interview post, there is one job, central secretary. There will be a CPT, computer proficiency test, in which will be a typing test, in which 8,000 words per hour. There will be depression test, key test, spreadsheet, and a PPT will be approved. Secretariat.
And these are the books which we are going to provide the students with. And these shorts, so packet 1 and packet 2 are already available. Then packet 2, they're already available, so if you want to intend for them. So just get what time packet 3 should be available?
I think 20.
In 20 days, Benji is saying that packet 3 should be available in the next 20 days. So this margin of 5 days, right? So by 5 days, packet 3 should also be available, or rather would be available among this. So another 3 is to GK only, whereas 2, 75% of the test, tier 1 I'm referring to, right? That completely gets covered in packet 1 and packet 2. Reasoning, quantitative aptitude, and English, all 3, they completely covered. Then there is another question from Madhur. Madhur, and in fact, he asked this question and then he answered it as well. Anyone for MBA entrance can do reasonably well in SSC, or further preparation is also required. So my opinion, Madhur, these people, they should definitely be appearing for full length test for tier 2. So I would say that familiarity with examination pattern would be required, for which we should ask the students to join our test series, right? Second thing, the amount of J common year is of 700 marks. That examination, the worth of J is only 50 marks. As GA, anyway, if a person has been preparing sincerely for MBA examination, and even if the person has not been preparing sincerely for MBA examination, that much of GK should not be about it. I do not think that any special support as such is required in GK, but yeah, if someone wants to do it, more than welcome. And in fact, in packet 3, we shall be giving them as many as 5 booklets for that. Thing about GK. So the 50 questions which they ask in GK, there's hardly anything from current affairs. Prepared for any examination, GK for any examination 10 years back, most of it is useful. They hardly ask you 4 to 5 questions from current affairs. Of the 50 questions which appear in tier 1 of CG of SSC, static part. There are some static general knowledge. So here's the snapshot of the booklet prepared by Upenji, people like Upenji and Ankur Mittal. And view for the test series which we're going to offer to the students. This is in between tier 1 and tier 2. There are some, so I'll be offering these tests only to those people who will qualify in tier 1. Test tier 2 put together in this test series, but tier 2 test series would be available only to those students who qualify for it. Score just 94-95 percentile or 95 or below in cash, should ask all these people to appear for CG. This thing which has been put here on, I think we talked about all this. Finally, graduation students are not out. And look, most universities, the final year examination will be over in the month of April and May. So, distance of close to 3 to 4 months. So in fact, if you conduct some seminars in the colleges for final year students, do wonders. You might ask these people to come to you immediately after finish the graduation examination for next year's year. So be prepared for that right in advance. So, see, I've already told you people in the first attempt of the graduation, right? So they're going to get some good salary. Plus, good also by the time they turn 27, 28. Now, comment. Oh, of course, also something which we have already talked about, and my request to all of you is actually go through the notification. Only go. All right. Questions? Then from Mohammed Irfan. So, question is if we are planning some separate study material for tier 2. What material we have created? The study material has been created keeping tier 1 and tier 2 both in mind. So apparently they have nailed these examinations as tier 1 and tier 2. But if you look at the quantitative aptitude and English question, these two different tiers, not different, not much of a difference. Or there's a bit of difference. The questions which are in the examination when it comes to the study material, right? We could not conceive any difference there. By whatever 11 booklets they've written about, they at least first 2 packets. First pertain to the requirements of the students for tier 1 as well as tier 2. For 2, only one more thing would be required, and that is practice. Keeping in mind, we should be providing the students with 5 practice statements. From MK Timaya, if I can read tier 1 slide, sure. That is the PPT. Yeah. I repeat, your study material caters to the needs of tier 1 as well as tier 2. Packet 3 about general awareness, so it would not be required for tier 2, but would certainly be required for the interview stage. There is a question from Vasudev Hasilkar. So it's a very good name. Hasilkar. So the question is, what is the difficulty level of CL tier 1 with respect to civil service preliminary examination? Or if you look at the question, look, the UPSC civil service preliminary examination to look at paper 1. So 50 questions would appear in the one of PGL. And in fact, a very small subset of what are UPSC civil service examination. And in fact, if you cannot do well GK of tier 1 of PGL examination, right, there is hardly a chance of you thinking about clearing the examination, right? So, I mean, CL tier 1 is a subset of UPSC preliminary examination on all the counts. So when you look, you might feel something slightly different, right? The question is, look, it comes to time, speed, and distance. The type of question which would appear in C might be very different from the type of question which you would get in CSAT paper, right? You require the same preparation. So here, tier 1 is a civil service preliminary examination. All right. So, any question from any one of you? So, does that mean that we should stop it? All the SSC open mock. Now come to this. We are conducting this All India SSC open mock on 25th of this month. Fee of rupees 20. So the slide. This will be a real start for us. We make it big, and in fact, if we can actually justify the nomenclature All India SSC open mock, right? Then it would be a great beginning. The question papers in Hindi as well as English, so that people they must have already indented for this also, right? So you indent according to your needs, and please make it a big success. Now, from my side, and then after you are free to ask as many questions as possible. So please ensure that all you have sufficient number of brochures. At this stage, SSC brochures are available only in English. So this, that I cannot understand your English brochure, not that we shouldn't have Hindi brochure. Hindi brochure should be available within 5th from now. Right, this stage, you can definitely give this plea. 2/5 का पूरे examination में भी English पे ही आता है. If you cannot understand the brochure, how would you be able to understand the question? So, medium student, one thing is for sure. One thing is sure that you answer questions worth 50 marks in English. Keep in mind, brochure can be nice. I'm not trying to defend my laziness that by this time I've not been able to come with this medium brochure. Keep this in mind, and definitely not a defense. Of course, I wish I had been able to give a Hindi medium brochure also, right? But these people, even Hindi medium students, should be smart enough to go through this English medium brochure. 5600. First time in this, Irfan is writing, I appreciate the stuff of All India Mock. Thank you, Mohammed Irfan. So appreciation, in fact, the only appreciation throughout the session. And there is a question from Madhur Manesia. They gave the message that he's writing to me privately, but I'm sure it's not that private a message. Something, why not 500 students take the exam, as they would come finally by 30th June 2014, and the exam happens during that. So if the student gets selected, still is otherwise has to wait for 1 more year to get the job. Question appropriate, and in fact I'm competing with Mathur, but question should actually be posed to the India. And Mathur, in fact, if the government of India listens to Mathur, it will make the task much easier for us. And these colleges Ankur is coming with a surprising piece of information that 2 years back, that is how it works. We call this a progressive society. So 2 years back, in fact, when Ankur appeared for it, he was still a final year student in SBTI. So it's completely with Mathur that SSC has taken a retrograde step. So that this is pretty much over from our side. So who participated and even those ones who could not. So big thanks. And if questions, kindly start in. So
I don't think we can focus on all the examination data because we have run this for almost all the I think 10 plus people.
Ankur is coming with a point of view, and thus far we have talked about CGL only. So people who appear for the examination conducted by SSC only at +2 level, right? Those numbers are at least 2 to 3 times of the number of applicants which SSC gets. Yes. So plus 2 level is much bigger. So most of the time, 2 level examination by SSC is conducted in the month of September, October. Right. So much before the examination notification comes, we've already done something about this plus 2 level examination conducted by SSC too. So by that time you will have brochures, material, almost everything. And a good part of this study material would be relevant for plural examination also. I assume the last input, whether input from Ankur, so I thank Ankur and Upendraji, and I must not forget to thank Akanksha also. And thanks all the participants.